Oh, hey, Doctor! How are you? What is going to happen now? Oh, is this where we plant them?
This is it. This is where we set history right again. Use the TNT on the Singularity to open a rift to 1955. Then destroy the reactor with the E-99 bomb. Once the Singularity is destroyed, the truth of history will be restored. Go on now, Captain. Good luck.
I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. Because this has been this might be something that's happened in several timelines already, which is like, there have been a few times where the Singularity went boom for unknown reasons, and we might be about to cause that reason, but that's been a past constant in several of the timelines we've been in so far. So, this is probably not going to be a fix-all situation. So how do I do this? Do I... Oh! I didn't know I could do that. I can reverse time on the slowdown fields. This is only going to go bad. This is going to go so bad. I am so very sure.
There's someone in the chamber.
Hello again. Hi.
You're right. Quick, open the doors. We have to get him out of there. No, stop. He's got a bomb. An E-99 bomb. Everyone out. Get out of here now.
No, let me out. I don't want to be in here. Oh dear. This is going to... Yeah. No way this is going to fix everything. No way in hell. No way is this going to fix it. Oh look, it's changed. There's a big hole in the side of the reactor.
Have fun on your trip down memory lane, Captain.
Hello.
You look surprised. All that effort to destroy the Singularity when all I had to do was simply rebuild it. Now, give me the TMD.
Don't rankle. We're missing something, but we can figure it out. We can still set things right.
Only the victors rewrite the history books. And you lost.
Only the victors rewrite the history books. That's it. The Singularity is not the problem. You went back in time and saved Demichev from being killed in the burning building. Remember?
Yes. I've been saying that a few times now.
He's what you changed, and he's what you have to change back. You cannot let Demichev live.
It won't work. You've already tried that. And failed.
Oh.
Don't you remember who else was there, Captain Renko? That other man was you.
I'd
Captain.
forgotten that.
You are the anomaly. Which means the only way to correct the timeline is for you to stop yourself. You mean kill himself?
You're asking a man to sacrifice himself for something you've been mistaken about. How many times now? I'm not sure you have reliable authority, Beresov.
Renkel, don't listen to him. You can save the world.
So you say. But Captain, think about what you were before all of this. Enthroned in the Hive. I can offer you a whole other life. Things you could only imagine. At your fingertips. Give me the TMD. And help rule the world.
Is this a world you want to be a part of, Renko? Look around you! Look at all the suffering this man has caused.
No visionary leader is without his critics.
Renko, he is not a leader. He's a mass murderer, a dictator. You must stop him at all costs. Use the TNT in Singularity. Travel back in time and kill yourself.
Well, that certainly sounds like an attractive offer. Or you can prove your loyalty to me by killing Borisov. And I will grant you unlimited power. Make your choice, Captain.
Damn you, game. Damn you, Singularity. I want to see both of these. So, do I get to come back and, or do I have to play through the entire game to find out what happens down the other route? Oh! If you take too long, if you take too long, he just shoots you. Well, that's one ending, I guess. Oh dear. I wasn't even looking at the screen really when that happened. I was just looking down and wondering what the hell's going on, and then it's like, and then suddenly I was shot.
All that effort to destroy the Singularity, all I had to do was simply rebuild it. Now, give me the TMD.
Don't, Renko. We're missing something, but we can figure it out. We can still set things right. Only the victors
Okay.
rewrite the history.
You lost.
What happens if I let him do this? Plop.
Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome. As I clip through the floor. Okay. Right. Here's what I'm thinking. It's been a long time since I've had suicidal thoughts, but I'm thinking suicide. So, yeah. I think if we're going to be the noble soul who tries to correct things, then if we're going to continue on with the current path, then we have to self-sacrifice and stop all this from happening. No, that means we die. Unless it's multiverse theory, in which case, yeah. Will this current me survive, or will I be wiped? But the problem with that is that we've had a lot of time disruption already, and things have not really switched around with things. Well, things have always switched around when we've changed things in the past. But if we go back and kill ourselves when we're trying to save him,
Only the victors rewrite the history books.
did I actually kill him that time?
The Singularity is not the problem.
No, I shot him in the face, but he's actually still alive. Okay, right, never mind.
Remember?
So that'll cause a paradox if I kill myself. In which case, I didn't save him, yeah, but then there's no one to go back and kill myself. No one to come back and kill me. So, would I still exist, or would I not? Would I burn to death in that building, or I don't know.
He's what you changed, and he's what you have to change back. You cannot let Demechev live.
Can I skip this?
You've already tried that.
Ah! Let me skip this conversation!
Don't you remember who else was there?
Because the other thing is... Well, I still don't know who wrote all those messages. Though, someone who knew about this, and he knows about it. He He knows about it.
That other man was you.
He's right, Captain. You are the anomaly, which means the only way to correct the timeline is for you to stop yourself.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm saying, don't let.
You're asking a man to sacrifice
I had honestly forgotten about that person saying, "Don't let him live." I completely forgot about that.
I'm not sure you are a reliable authority, Beresov.
But yeah, I'm going to stick with Borisov right now and see what happens. I think.
So you say.
Because Demichev, I don't approve of his methods,
Not what you were before all of this.
but he is offering a lot of power and stuff. So
I can offer you a whole other life. Things you could only imagine.
actually, if I kill Borisov, then he might actually
TMD.
let me. That might be the end of the game right there with it.
Rule the world.
Is this a world you want to be a part of, Renko? Look
Not
around
really.
you. Look at all the suffering this man has caused.
No visionary leader.
I have to actually choose one.
Renko,
God damn it.
he is not a leader. He's a mass murderer, a dictator.
Because I don't know how hard it'll be to get back to this point.
Use the TNT Singularity. Travel back in time and kill yourself.
I think that's a game ending if I side with Demichev right here, right now.
Or you can prove your loyalty to me by killing Beresov, and I will grant you unlimited power. Make your choice, Captain.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Da 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 da.
My God, he's dead. Captain, you just killed the most powerful man in the world.
I know.
But this changes nothing. To correct history, you must go back in time and stop yourself.
Can I shoot him as well? No, I actually got game over when Borisov saying Borisov. It said. Wait. I can't move. Why can I not?
No, Captain.
With Dr. Beresov and Chancellor Demichev dead, the knowledge of E99 and Katorga 12 dies with them. You disappear and become a legend in the years to come. Most believe you never existed in the first place. The whereabouts of the TMD are unknown.
Huh.
Weeks pass before the bodies of Demichev and Beresov are discovered. The murders are never solved. The death of Chancellor Demichev was the first step in ending Russia's grip on the world. The USSR quickly dissolves into feuding factions all vying for power. Wars erupt across the globe as casualties rise into the millions. With their newfound freedom, Mir 12 grows in strength and influence. While they continue their fight against the Russian military, they also begin a manhunt for Dr. Beresov's murderer. To this day, they have been unsuccessful. With the TMD removed from Katorga 12, the Singularity destabilizes. A massive explosion destroys the eastern coast of Russia and stretches as far as the prison state of Alaska. A group of Katorga 12 creatures escapes to the Russian mainland and overruns New China. There are rumors of a secret army taking over parts of the former United States. Their leader remains a mystery, but is said to be ruthless, laying waste to all who stand in his way. It is believed his plans involve world domination. His following grows every day. Some claim he is able to summon incredible power, as if he controlled the hand of God himself.
Well, there's the assassin. Well, okay, fine. Hello. Hello, lady. What's going on? Wait. She is badly hurt. What the hell's going on? So she escaped from the docks in 1955. And is this the foundation of Mir 12? Ah, yeah, that's the foundation of Mir 12. Okay. Okay, so that is what happens if we shoot them both. I am aware we passed the half hour, but I'm actually looking because I think that might be it. If I hit continue, will it take me back to where I was? I think it might. Yeah, I'm right back here.
This is it. This is where we set history.
Okay, so I can see the other endings of the game.
Use the TNT Singularity to open a rift to 1955. Then destroy the reactor with the E-99 bomb. Once the Singularity is destroyed, the truth of history will be restored.
Alright, I'm going to skip ahead to the choices so we can see what happens with each outcome. I can't just circumvent it. Okay.
History books, and you lost. Grant you unlimited power. Make your choice, Captain.
I make my choice. I choose.
No, Captain.
Well done, Captain Renko.
I see you have what it takes to rule the world. Chancellor Demichev is the only survivor of Katorga 12. Any mention of Borisov is wiped from history. With the TMD at your disposal, you and Demichev now control the Singularity. Katorga 12 becomes pivotal in Demichev's final push to remove all remnants of rebellion against his leadership. As commander of the military, you forge Demichev's forces into an unstoppable war machine. You even train some of the island's creatures in combat. You use them as a first wave assault in all major battles. Millions are forced into slave labor. With the full power of the Singularity and you at the helm of the military, any pockets of resistance around the world are weeded out. Mir 12 proves difficult at first, but with the TMD by your side, they do not stand a chance. In the years that follow, tensions build within the ruling Russian dictatorship. Your knowledge of advanced weaponry and control of the TMD allows your support to grow. Some believe you are more powerful than Chancellor Demichev himself. Demichev recognizes this and begins a secret weapons development program in the former United States. There are even rumors he's created his own TMD. Conflict seems inevitable as the world once again finds itself in the midst of a Cold War between two superpowers.
Okay, so in that one, I took control of the Russian military and became a major power. And Demichev actually started developing his own TMD in the former USA because of how powerful I was, and rumour said I was more powerful than him, which was true. But I had advanced knowledge, but I disseminated that knowledge, so it became a Cold War between two factions, Demichev versus me, and that'll be the next World War, apparently. Okay. That is a fair take, honestly. And... okay, yeah, she survived. Yeah, Mir 12 was actually listed as its own faction, though, throughout all of this. I wonder if she writes something different. Yeah, that doesn't change. Okay. Moving on. If there's one flaw in this, it's that we have to go through the entire dialogue and bomb placing sequence each time. But the last one is the one I was actually considering doing before. Right, so this is going to be the final game over, which is going to be Sacrifice. So, suicide, here I come.
We set history right again.
And you lost. Limited power. Make your choice, Captain.
Okay, here we are. Final choice. Bye, Demichev. Right, so this is the one I was leaning towards originally, but it depends on what you're attached to.
Most powerful man in the world. But this changes
So,
everything.
we found that if we let him shoot us, or if we're too slow on this bit, making the choice he shoots us. In this case, we just die. We found 2 endings so far in which we survive. The first is I shoot both of them, then I wander off and become a rising power as I rebuild the USA in this world. The second is I accept the offer, I become his general, then we move on and becomes a new Cold War heading towards a new World War between me and him, but we both have the TMD, we both have creatures from this island, you know, the stuff like that. So if I accept this world and want to live in this world, I can either set it on course to a new World War, or I can actually be a rising power rebuilding the USA in this timeline. And that would be, I guess, the better one, because then I would have a big advantage over everyone else, because Demichev's group wouldn't have the technology of the TMD and all that stuff, and military weapons from my original timeline. So that's the 2 where I live. And I build a better future or a new World War in this timeline. The third option, it seems, is if I go with Borisov, turn around, and do his plan of the thing. And go back in time and sacrifice myself to bring back, ideally, the original timeline. Actually, I just shot Demichev, not me. Wait. It's not letting me just shoot Demichev. I have to kill myself here. Huh. Okay, so I have to shoot myself. And then I've retroactively got the head wound and I drop down as well. Question mark? Oop.
Hammer 2-1, Red Fleet actual, you are now entering Katorga 12 airspace.
Roger that, Red Fleet. Continuing on this vector. ETA to target 3 minutes.
I don't know why they keep making us do this run. Not like we ever see anything. Military intelligence. What a joke.
Hammer 2-1, maintain present speed and heading.
Copy that, Red Fleet.
I get tired of seeing that.
Borisov got the...
Hammer 2-1, false alarm. Repeat, false alarm. Your mission has been scrubbed, head on home.
Ha! What'd I tell you? Never anything interesting here. Right, comrade?
So if I do it that way, Borisov gets the TMD and goes back and reshapes the history in his own image. And I was not a US Marine there, I was actually comrade, so the Borisov. So basically it's picking who comes out on top. If I try to reverse it back to the previous time, I don't die. I mean, I looked at my hand, I knew I had the past knowledge, I knew that I had the TMD. Or some part of me knew. So I was still alive. The sacrifice just stopped me from having all the adventures and all that stuff. And reset things, but Borisov then went back with the thing, so he had the TMD, and then he used that to take over, to lead on to take over the world, and Russia rose to ascendance because I was a comrade. So, but he was a lot more gentle about it than Demichov, I think, because we were flying around with all the future technology, all modern day stuff. So, in that respect, the timeline was left alone. So he was a lot more benevolent, but he did come back with the TMD and all the future knowledge and all that stuff, and he did use it to rise to do something. Because they had a massive statue in his honour, so I think he actually used it and Russia took over the world. But, well, better him than Demichev, but it also knocked me, or rather Renko, down into obscurity. Back to, as Demichev put it, a cog in the machine. So it took away any importance. So that's 3 endings. And ultimately, I think... I hate to say it, but I think the better one... I'm torn between the one where go back and fix things. Because you don't fix things no matter what things change. But you invalidate everything you went through. If you give it to Borisav. But Borisav, because the world developed after that, he's a much better choice than Demichev. Because if you side with Demichev, then it turns into a Cold War, which is going to lead to, most likely to another war with like bioweapons, internal weaponized creatures and things, and cruel practices, and yeah, so it's a very ruthless, very cruel world, that future one where you side with Demichev. It's not much better if you go and kill them both, but you're actually reforming the US and you have a good chance of taking over the world that way, and you are the one in charge. So for personal power and maybe rebuilding and taking back a future, that is one where you become like a key figure and all that stuff as a result of all this. But it depends if you want to be in charge or not, I suppose. If this actually happens, then I would be tempted to just go with... I'd be tempted to go for probably world domination, personally. Just because I knew I could do something to fix things from that point forward. Just make things better for a lot of people, though there is all the horror that happened before that, which is a huge problem, but I think that's coming from the fact that I feel so powerless in reality, in real life, that, and I despair so much at real world leadership and all that jazz, that I'm kind of inclined to go the full-on murderous route, and if I was given the choice, I would actually try to reshape the world and do a better job of it than the idiots in charge nowadays. You know? That's how I feel. Though, from a moral standpoint, I think trying to fix it would be the logical way, and would be trying to fix things and do it that way. Though, of course, as we saw in the end, we didn't actually die, but the past was still changed, but this time by Borislav. And arguably changed for the better, but the fact is we don't actually know a lot of anything about what happened. And we don't know how he used his knowledge or his TMD to affect the world. Just that it seems to have turned out relatively similar. So, I don't know. It's something you can agonise about, sure, but yeah. Me personally, because of my jaded worldview, I would go full murder, take over, and take over the world, kind of thing. But morally, I would go back and give it to Borislav, because he would actually do an okay job with it. And that's about that. So yeah, this has been my run through on Singularity, ladies and gents. Definitely an underrated game, but also a fun one. I had a blast with it. Though it was slightly spoiled at the end there by the fact I had to sit through the ending arguments and cutscenes several times over. But at least it means we've got all of the credits rolling behind us here. So yeah, we're just that's one of those big things. I never really had much of a problem with that. Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's going to be something at the end of this, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do to replace the series on the channel now that this one is definitely at an end. It's like... it's been a good ride. But I'll have to find a game to replace it with. But I'll also be honest, it felt good to just be dragged into a game and go, ooh, I want to play this and play this and play this and play this and play this, because that's not something I've been able to do for a very long time, just like get absorbed by a game. So it feels like how it used to be. So good. Oh, these guys. Activision. Oh wow, Activision. I didn't realise this game actually has Activision involved, especially given what the vicious beast Activision has become nowadays. This hails back to a time when Activision was actually an okay company. Wow, what a trip down memory lane. Oh, if the people back then could see what they've become now. Just like Blizzard. I mourn Blizzard. I mourn Blizzard so much. Wait, who are we on now? Demonware? What? Who are Demonware? Are they the guys that actually made this game? Not sure. Seems like a group that they're thanking there. I've got to tell the truth, I'm actually running out of things to say. I guess one regret I have is I didn't actually play this game in hard mode. I suspect weapon choices, ability choices, how often I'd do things like use the TMD would have been a good bit more intense if I'd gone through it on hard mode. Because normal mode, I flattened it for the most part. Must admit. But yeah, I think I'd have made a lot more use of the TMD abilities and stuff if I'd played this on hard mode. And I probably wouldn't have used the fun gun as much, if I'm going to be brutally honest. I feel like the fun gun, it's lower per shot damage, and its appetite for ammo. If I took that onto hard mode, it would have had a lot of trouble actually staying stocked with it. Because it was plentiful later on, but when I first got it, I was struggling a little bit for ammo, until I got the extra ammo pickup thing for my TMD upgrades and stuff. But I'd probably actually go with what Lol had suggested, which would be probably shotgun combined with assault rifle would have been a mainstay in beast areas. But the sheer utility of the sniper rifle against human opponents, that would have probably made that a mainstay as soon as I got access to it. Probably backed up by, I think, the shotgun most likely. Though assault rifle would probably be a close second. The sheer damage output of the autocannon though, especially against the big guys, I could just vaporize them. But okay, that didn't seem to be any kind of special thing, so I'm a little bit confused about, it said something about there being a chance for her to survive. I'm actually going to look this up. Right. Because with each ending where I live, this has happened and she's come out of the docks. So I want to look this up. Endings. Every time... I thought it was like... she... Yeah, she just comes here and then starts writing to found Mir 12. Okay, so here's the wiki. Upon return in 2010, Renko finds that nothing has changed. He sees Demichev holding Borisov at gunpoint. Demichev reveals he rebuilt the facility after the bomb detonated. Renko shoots and wounds Demichev. Yeah, we found that as a game over. Freeing Borisov. Borisov realized Demichev's rescue is what altered the timeline. Yeah, I came to that conclusion a while back. Like, a lot earlier on. Yeah, that's all the same. That's writing is all the same, but yeah, that is the finding of Mir 12. The Cult of Renko. The player is left with a choice of 2 endings as well as 2 more less obvious ones. Okay. Yeah, okay. If the player chooses to kill Demichev, Borisov will still urge the player to go back in time and stop himself from saving Demichev. So that was the one we literally just finished. I'm going to split the endings off into a separate video, actually, just because of how long it takes to get through all of them. So that's going to be a separate thing, I think. However, the player can shoot Demichev, which I accidentally did straight away the first few times. However, this only repeats the same scene, so yeah, there's no option where you shoot Demichev, but you survive it. Shooting the passwords, Rento sends the narrative back to Devlin and Renko's arrival at Cortega 12. The game's intro credits are shown written in Russian. Helicopters bear the hammer and sickles. Devlin's armed with a Russian weapon. Comments on monitoring 12 is a waste of time. Statue in the introduction was changed to a massive monument to Borisov wearing the TMD. Renko seems to have retained his memories from the rest of the game as he checks his left hand when he sees the monument. Renko and Devlin's missions is called off by the dispatcher, Red Fleet, instead of Titan 1. I missed that. And Devlin refers to Renko as comrade. It's implied that Borisov recovered the TMD from the fire and used it to unite the world under Soviet rule. Oh, so he didn't come back from the future version. He just reverse engineered the TMD because we dropped dead in the fire and the TMD was left in the fire and it survived it. Or enough survived it that it could be reverse engineered. Okay, if the player shoots Borisov, he joins forces with Demichev and the team succeeds in taking over most of the world. Renko trains soldiers, uses them in battle. With his control of the TMD, Demichev feels Renko is even more powerful than he is and takes precautionary methods against him by starting a weapons research program in the former US. This settles the world into another Cold War with Renko on one side and Demichev on the other. And yeah, that's the one that's probably heading towards a World War, because Demichev is very, very assertive in his will to dominate. So yeah, that's the ending, which I think is the worst of the options, because it would result in a World War, but with TMD and monsters and things. So it's going to be a huge mess, that timeline, I think. The next up is... Yep, if the player shoots Demichev and Borisov, Renko leaves to Cortega 12 and allows the world to fall into chaos. Public believes his very existence to be a myth, disappears with TMD in position. Singularity explodes a few years later, destroys the eastern coasts of Russia and western Alaska. Cortega 12 mutants escape onto the mainland Russia and wreak havoc. A new leader rises in the former US and is reported to be very aggressive. The ending cutscene and narration imply the leader to be Renko, as it shows an arm wearing the TMD, along with a narration stating there are rumours that the new leader has godlike powers. Yep. And here's the one we discovered by accident right at the first. If the player simply waits a while, Demichev will grab the pistol on the floor and shoots both Renko and Borisov. Yeah. And yeah, okay, so there is no option about actually the girl surviving, because it says here specifically, a post-credit scene shows a wounded Kathleen emerging in 1955. I was wondering about that, but yeah, apparently when the freighter reverted, she actually went back to the past. So she actually got temporally displaced back to 1955. But emerging in 1955 from the Pearl's wreckage and hiding in an office. Bleeding heavily, she begins writing the Mer-12 journal. So she founded Mer-12, which she later took faith in and found us and all that stuff. So she actually went back in time and wrote that. So there was another bit of a time loop going on there. But yeah, that's all the endings of Singularity. That is literally all of them. So there isn't actually a hidden one where she survives. She always survives that. But she's always transported back in time and founds Mer-12. So, yeah, there we go. That was Singularity, ladies and gents. Very fun time. But sorry about the heavy bit there. I just wanted to make sure that I hadn't missed anything, but that was all the endings, and that was the full breakdown. So we did get them all. But still, this has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed joining me on this journey through the past, present, future, and destroying the world in multiple ways, both violently and by wrecking causality and all that jazz. But yeah, I'll catch you all some other time. See you all later. Singularity, good game.